Isabella's favorite place in the world was the small comic book shop nestled between a bakery and a barber shop on a quiet street corner. The sign above the door read Heroes and Villains, and the moment she pushed open the creaky door after school, a wave of comfort washed over her. The smell of old paper and ink filled the air, mingling with the distant scent of freshly baked bread from next door. The shop was small, but every inch was packed with colorful comics, graphic novels, and action figures. Isabella, a 10-year-old with big, curious eyes and an even bigger imagination, felt like she had stepped into another world every time she walked through those doors. She loved to lose herself in the pages of her favorite stories, where heroes and villains battled in epic showdowns, and where anything was possible. Her mother worked long hours, so Isabella spent most of her afternoons and summer breaks in the shop. Mr. Gomez, the kind old man who owned the place, always greeted her with a warm smile. "Back for more adventures, Bella?" he'd ask, his eyes twinkling behind his thick glasses. Isabella would nod eagerly and dive into the nearest stack of comics, her fingers flipping through the pages with excitement. She loved the stories of superheroes, but the villains fascinated her even more. She was drawn to their power, their cunning, and their unyielding desire to bend the world to their will. What no one knew, not Mr. Gomez, not her classmates, not even her mother, was that Isabella's imagination was more than just vivid. It was powerful. She had discovered her secret ability quite by accident one summer afternoon when she had wished for a character to leap off the page and scare away a group of bullies who had been tormenting her. To her astonishment, the villain had materialized right in front of her, just as terrifying as he had been in the comic. From that day on, Isabella realized that she could bring to life anything she saw or read about in the comics. She started small, summoning characters to keep her company or to perform little tricks for her amusement. But as time went on, she began to use her power for more sinister purposes. Her bullies no longer dared to come near her. She would smile sweetly at them in school, knowing they had seen the monster she could unleash. No one could prove it was her, but they all sensed it. Isabella reveled in her secret, knowing that she held a power greater than any comic book hero. And so, she spent her days in the comic book shop, feeding her imagination and her growing darkness. To everyone else, she was just a quiet little girl with a love for comics. But Isabella knew the truth. She was the true villain of her own story, and she was just getting started.